Therapy dudes. New chapter. Breathe in. It gets serious. It gets serious. Pull up chairs, this is session one. Every crack in the armor, see it in the sun.
Hello, everyone. This is Andre Karkamaz with Dan Fox, and we are the Therapy Dudes. Clearly revamped here. Good job, Dan.
Thank you.
So we are jumping into a series this week. We're going to talk about personality types. We're going to attach that to attachment theory, and we're also going to describe how these personality types show up and what happens to them under stress, what a healthy version of that personality type is, and what an unhealthy version of it looks like. We're going to be using the Enneagram to do this. And you know about the Enneagram?
Well, I do now. I came across it in grad school, and I took the Enneagram for this podcast,
Okay.
and I was
Oh,
shocked at my results.
what are your results? Tell me.
Oh my God, you're sounding surprised.
The
I'm
helper
I'm I'm worried about your
is a
memory.
two.
Are you okay?
Uh, yes, I'm okay. What
Okay.
happened? Why? What did you already tell me this? Did I already forget? What's wrong with
Yes.
it?
Remember how shocked I was that your Enneagram and mine
It's the one.
were
I was
exactly
just
the same.
playing.
I'm a one with a whatever blossoming that you have too.
I'm a I'm a one wing two and you're a one wing two, and it's surprising because we're very different people, but we're in the same profession.
Right.
But I've seen it. I can tell you're a one wing too. So we'll talk more about what that means.
It's easy to say that after you've already gotten my results, right? This is just so like astrological signaling of you. But
Yeah, I'm such what is it, an astrologist? Oh God,
I
not an
think so.
astronomist. That one's
Right.
actual science. Um, Well, okay, so also I just want to throw in there, we are sponsored by Boulder Psychological Services. Visit boulderpsychologicalservices.com for all your therapy needs. I think we kind of fell off of like doing a shout out to our people here. Um, but yes, I do remember you telling, wow, my memory's like, I don't get enough sleep, man. Um, you were telling me you're a one, and actually the reason why that makes sense is because you've indicated throughout our episodes and throughout our personal relationship that you do see things in a lens of kind of like a justice lens, like this is right, this is wrong. You're not black and white. You try to understand people, but you do have a high moral compass, in my opinion. And that's actually how I am too. And it can cause issues if you become black and white. We'll jump into all of this as we talk about the personality types under the Enneagram. But let's first talk about what the Enneagram actually is. So, how would you describe the Enneagram, Dan? And it's okay if you don't have like a perfect
Oh,
explanation.
no, I got this. I got this.
Okay, you can do it.
I think there's like eight. Are there eight?
I think there are
There might be
nine.
nine. Yeah, I think
Yes.
there's nine.
I'm going to
Um,
jump into all of them here.
Now that I'm looking at it properly, there's nine different types, and your primary type is the one that you score highest with, obviously, and then your I don't know blossoming type
Secondary type. I like that blossoming.
is the second highest. I actually, according to my results, it looks like I'm tied if I look at the data that I was,
Okay.
because I've got that in front of me now.
Tell
So
me.
I'm tied with one and two. I have 95% on both of those. So I think for whatever reason they just picked number one as the one. So thank goodness we're not twinning.
We're not twinning. Well, I don't even know what my percentages are. We could be twinning. We could be the exact same
Okay,
person.
fine. We're the same. We're the same.
Okay,
Um,
except you're a little bit more white than me
okay.
and a lot older. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow.
I know that was mean. Why do I do that to you? We gotta, that's got to be in my personality type.
I knew that was coming. I was going to say that I have more hair, but I was trying to hold back, and then you went for the age thing. So,
No, that's true. That's true.
um, but yeah, apparently, right, the reformer is number one, right? the type 1, and that has something to do with um like you said, like justice, finding like what is sort of morally right or correct, um and a commitment to like integrity,
Yeah.
and also that there's a lot of like you can be a strong self-critic, right? Because if you're wanting to be in integrity and do what's right, then you're often, looking at things in a way that sees the stuff that you're doing that come up short, and that's pretty tricky.
Right.
It's
Are
high
you
standards, but also like, holding yourself up to that line makes it easy to be like self-critical.
okay? So what is the Enneagram, Dan? Explain it. I
Uh,
want people to know. I want
it's
the
like these
maybe.
9 different personality types, and
Okay.
they claim that instead of like personality being like actual, like just innate, like this is what you're born with, it's like no, this is how you like responded to some core fear when you were like 2 years old and
Yes.
just emerged in some way that now you're this way forever.
It's
I'm
not
an Enneagram
forever.
too, but
Any
yeah.
your Enneagram can change over time, but yes, it's true. It's so what the Enneagram actually is a personality framework. Um, I don't remember who exactly developed it. I imagine it's multiple people that did a lot of research, and then someone took the credit. But the Enneagram, basically, what it's looking at what motivates you, what you're trying to avoid feeling, and how that shapes behavior, especially in relationships. So it is a framework that develops um, in which you engage with the world, and it's how you try to avoid fear. So you're right about that. Um, what the good thing about it is that it does change over time. If you do your personal work, you can have a healthier version of your personality type versus the maladaptive version, which we'll talk about probably in the second episode of the series, kind of detailing all the stress impacts on these personality types. Um, but so I want to just get into personality as adaptation. Adaptation. I want that to be like kind of how we frame everything here. So your personality really isn't random. It's something that's developed to emotionally survive and function in this world. So early in life, your brain asks things like, what do I need to do to feel safe, loved, or okay? And then it builds patterns around that. And that's kind of what your personality type is showing you. Like, what are those patterns? How do you think? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. And so a core fear is the main emotional experience your system is trying to avoid. So it's not always conscious, but it drives your behavior. So for instance, you showed up at basketball and you tried to stay quiet for a long time. Um,
Yes.
I wonder what the core fear was around that, right?
I don't. So I feel like I don't.
You've talked about it a little bit.
Right.
Yeah,
It didn't even like connect with like fear as much as just an assumption that I'm like the old dude. I didn't grow up playing basketball, so I'm
well,
not
you're the
very good.
helper.
And
Yeah,
why would I like I wouldn't want myself on my team. Like when we're shooting to see who gets on what team at the beginning,
right,
when you're on a team already and then somebody who's good makes a shot so they're on your team,
right.
it's like yay. And then when a scrub makes a shot and they're on your team, it's like ah. And so
Yeah.
I just sort of
So you
figured that
see
was just
yourself as a
an
scrub.
category.
Yeah,
And
but that is part of your personality if you're a two, because the two, the core fear of a two is being unwanted or unlovable.
oh geez.
I
This is
know. I
just like
just
astrology.
uh, it it's scientifically backed by psychologists who research this stuff. You're just going to write it off as astrology, Dan? Really?
Well, I think it's so easy just like after the fact when somebody explains something to just be like, nah, well, that's because like, you're just like whatever. And
All right. Well, you know what? On the fourth episode of this series, You can do Enneagram and astrology and how they're the same.
Well, I feel like if it was my core thing of like fear of being worthless, that that would come up in a lot of ways other than basketball. Like
Yeah,
there's now, I guess I could argue it both ways because I
yeah,
do think that I feel like comfortable socially when I'm in these like more leadership type positions. Like, I was a teacher, I was a principal, I was a school counselor. All those things are kind of like, giving you a role that is defined and makes you feel a sense of like value and worthiness.
right.
So,
Yes.
see, I can do the astrology thing too.
You can do okay, good. You're doing it. Just drink the Kool-Aid with me, man.
Okay.
Just
All right.
this time because
Convince me.
I don't
Convince
like the woo-woo. I'm not
me.
a woo-woo guy. Well, a little bit, but not that much. But I'll just say, remember that core fears are not always conscious, but they do drive behaviors. So a lot of times people don't even see their defense patterns, and um, core strategy, also known as a defense pattern, is the automatic way you try to avoid the fear. So the strategy works early on in life, but becomes limiting over time. Like you might stop, like if you feel like in the case of you being afraid of as a two possibly being afraid of being unwanted or unneeded or a detriment to a team, maybe at a young age you were pulling yourself out of those situations, and as an adult you might not be as ambitious because you're afraid that you're not good enough and you don't want to be seen. You just want to help other people achieve, right? um it's
Right.
just an example. I'm not saying that that's what you did, because there's a healthy version of it too as well, right? Which
Yeah.
is going to see that and not do those things, right? Um they're going to have control over those self-limiting beliefs. But if you're an adult and all you live is that fear, right? The core fear, then
Yeah.
it's going to show up in unhealthy ways. And that's the point of the Enneagrams, to help, it's to give a framework for people to understand why they are the way they are, how to like challenge themselves and balance that out so it's a healthier um, life experience. Does that make sense? Do you have questions?
Okay.
Okay.
It makes sense. But
Okay.
if I like showed up as a type 3 blossoming into a type 4, right? So
Okay.
like
It's not blossoming in. It's not blossoming. It's just it is you have two types that are core typically.
yeah,
One's a the second one is a secondary aspect of your personality.
like your
You're
wingman.
not moving from the first one to the second one. This is the main one that you're at, and then this is also kind of close to the main one you're at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I was like, because type 3 is like the achiever, and I could
Right.
totally argue that too, that like, I have this like need to be achieving and feeling like I'm putting stuff out there in the world
Right.
that is like sort of recognized and all that. And then
Okay.
type 4 is like the individualist.
Right.
And the fear is like being insignificant or without identity, which is kind of, that fear also would drive achievement. And I could see how I could
They
argue that
kind of
like I have a
match.
lot of individualist energy. Like I don't typically, I don't know, go with the flow. Like I ride an elliptical bike, which is a very individualist thing to do
Sure
because
is.
because I see the looks that I get from people when I
I
elliptical
can't
my
say
way
that I'm
past
proud, but I get it.
them. It's good for my back, man. It's good for my back. But I've
No,
always
I'm
kind
good
of
for that.
just had my
Yeah.
own sort of, I don't know, way of marching, so to speak, and um, that that could be argued too. And if I go down to like type 5, the investigator,
hmm
all right, I'm not the investigator. Never mind.
No, you're not a lot. So this is all on a spectrum,
Yes.
first and foremost, just so the viewers understand. The Enneagram, you can be a little bit of a lot of these things, but what it's going to show you is your two primary types, your main type and then the wing, which is your secondary main type. And you might be one of those rare people that have like five like types that are really close to each other in percentage. But I think the ones I'm not sure how they designed it. Maybe I should have done more
Well, you know,
research.
interestingly, as I'm looking at this now with the scores that I got,
Hmm.
the achiever is my third blossom.
We're just gonna call it Blossom. We're just doing it. I like it. Okay, it's blossoming.
So it, and I do have like three of them that are in the 80s, as well as my two, like, you know, reformer and helper ones. So
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I have a lot of those features.
It's a spectrum, and I would just like to add that a lot of the core fears that are under these personality types are just human. Like we probably feel all of them to some extent in certain situations and circumstances, right? Like um, when I think about, which one was it that I was looking at? Being unsafe, unsupported, being controlled, harmed, or vulnerable as a core fear, like I can totally see that coming out in us if with attachment issues too,
Right,
right?
right.
Like if you're avoidant, like that might be a core fear of yours. But that's why I want to do one of these episodes with personality type plus attachment types to see the similarities. But let's jump into the nine types, their
Okay.
fears, their strategies, their relationships, and what it looks like for them to grow.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And you know, I'm gonna say that I need to pull back from comparing this to astrology because astrology is just random based on somebody's birth, right? But
Right.
this is actually going through a questionnaire where it's like analyzing your results,
Answers.
which is not
Yeah.
just based on the random luck of when you were born, right? Like somebody
Okay.
born in the winter versus the summer isn't the same. And I fully
True.
do buy into like things like attachment theory and how based on your attachment style, that's going to show up in a relationship a certain way, it's going to show up in work a certain way,
Right.
and that you're going to have interactions with somebody with a similar or different attachment style that tend to go along characteristic ways. So I feel like it's not a big leap to go from my conviction in that, right, which I've
Right.
worked with a lot and use in my practice, to seeing how with the Enneagram that can be similar to it. It just does have a little bit of that, like
That woo-woo
a
factor
new
somehow.
agey, right, right,
It's
like
because of the names, the reformer, the helper, the Aquarius, the Gemini, I
right.
think that's why. I think that's about it though.
Well, and they put symbols on each of them that are like, these ancient like symbols that are like, traced back to like mystical traditions and stuff like that. So they like to like seep some of it in mystery because I think that's just kind of fun for people. But
Yeah.
for me,
You
being the
hmm.
reformer that I am,
You're
uh,
like a RoboCop.
yeah,
That's what I
I'm
see
just like
when we call you the
don't
reformer.
like, right, like if the attachment styles had little weird pagan imagery attached to them or something, I would just be like, what, like, why are we going there? Why not just stay with like science and what we actually can
Well, it
see?
turns out that people like to have fun, Dan. Okay? They like to attach imagery to serious things sometimes. And I don't know how that works with astrology, but here it works.
Oh, you're such a Aquarius.
That's so true.
I don't even know if
Damn it,
that's
how
one.
did you
I don't
know?
think that's
That's
one. Is
yeah,
Aquarius
that's
isn't even
I
one of
am
them.
an Aquarius. That was intuitive. Good for
Oh
you.
my
That's
God.
crazy. In real life, I'm an Aquarius. That was crazy. That gave me the chills. Something just happened, folks.
Oh
I
my
think we
gosh.
tapped in
I
to something.
unconsciously am totally wedded to astrology.
Wow. You just tapped in. Well, let's tap into the nine types so we can get the viewers and you educated on this because clearly you don't understand what you're saying when you say blossom. Um,
Okay. Sorry to
okay, I'm
sorry to
kidding.
be playing defense against the
I'm
process.
kidding. I like it. We might be able to use that somehow. So, what I'm going to do is describe each type. the fear, the strategy, the relationships that they find themselves in, and the growth.
Okay.
So the core fear of type one is the reformer. You and I are I mean, apparently we're reformers.
Yes.
Uh, my type, my first, the first couple times I took the Enneagram, my primary type was two. It's now one. I used to be a two wing one. Now I'm a one wing two. It's interesting.
Mhm.
It flipped. But
Yes, I totally see that in you.
it's because I'm jaded, Dan. I'm jaded. Uh, the reformer, what their core fear is being wrong, bad, or flawed. Their core strategy is to be correct, to have have them controlled, like their emotions, their speech, and all that controlled. And then they like to stay principled. Like they like to have a set of what's it called? Like moral values that they follow. They don't like to feel like morally ungrounded, right? They like
Right.
to follow principles. In relationships, they have high standards for themselves and others. They can become critical or corrective. Um, Shows love through responsibility, like doing things that would fulfill the needs of their loved ones or, shows up, stuff like that. Um, their worldview is that there is a right way and we should live by it. So that's what's been hard for me is like, at least in relationships, especially when I was younger. And I think this is because my parents were religious and, well, my mom especially, and that's who I attached to most. And she kind of like set the framework of how I should view the world. And it's taken me a while to break out of that and form my own view. But there is a right way is like it can be black and white if you're an unhealthy one. Does that make sense? Like
Yes. Yes.
you can have trouble like seeing things from other people's perspectives. The healthy growth is to practice self-compassion, accept imperfection in yourself and others, and let go of constant corrections in yourself and others. So,
Yes.
um,
All right.
that,
Totally, totally fine. Um,
that-
Although I know in
mhm.
my own experience that the fear of being wrong, I feel like I can relate to that. Like I wanted to, be right and smart and all that. But the fear of being bad, I just kind of had this impish, like, especially like in my like schooling years, right? Of just being a little mischievous and kind of undermining authority and thinking that, authority figures were
Right,
like that wasn't the right way, right? Like whatever
right.
they were doing, it was like, I got to undermine these rules because they're stupid. And so there was
Yeah.
some like rebellion energy in there that I feel like to this day I still have some of that, even though,
Mm.
I'm like, I don't want my kids to be rebellious or things like that. But I know for myself that that's part of it. But I don't see that as like, oh, I'm being bad if I'm being rebellious. I see that as like the system is messed up and I'm
Well, there's a lot of system errors right now in our society, right? Look at the political environment. It's disaster. I totally get it.
I knew you would say that because you're a one wing two blossoming.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. At their best, um, the reformer, they are grounded, ethical, wise, and not rigid.
Okay.
So that's how they show up at their best. And the key focus on that term, not rigid, right? Um, Type two, jumping into that type, the
Oh my
helper.
gosh. Okay. We have to keep this though somehow like so that it doesn't just like numb people over. Like how do we make it pop for the listener so
Are
that
you
it's
saying I'm being boring, Dan?
um I think you have a core fear of being unwanted or
Unlovable.
unlovable,
Yeah,
right?
I think that I think, oh, or wrong or bad or flawed, you're right. Oh God, it's coming out in our podcast.
This is your
Um,
your helper
okay,
energy
let
coming
me
out.
help you.
No,
What do
you're
you
you're
need right
still
now,
very
Dan?
helpful. You're still
What do you
very
need?
helpful.
How can I help you?
What do I need?
How can I help you?
Well, it like I think somehow we want to I
You
don't,
don't want the viewers to understand the types?
I just feel like by the fifth one, they're just going to be glossed over and there'll be too much data and information or something. So,
So how do we
I,
present it to them?
excellent question. I
Do we
think
need to play your music?
can I use my soundboard? Can I use my soundboard?
I can't even get through 2 of the 9 types without you telling me I'm boring, Dan.
Okay, let's keep it moving.
Okay.
Okay, there we
All
go.
right, now I feel better. Go on.
Okay, good. Okay, so the two, before I was rudely interrupted, is their core fear is being unwanted or unlovable. So you see this in a lot of people with insecure, anxious attachment as well. A lot of them seem to be a two. Not all of them, but a good percentage of them, because their belief is that they need to uh, be valuable to people to be lovable, or they need to be on top of it, something like that, right? Do you see how it can
Right.
kind of correlate?
And that somehow like their problem is that like allowing themselves to be helped, right? And to like get their own needs met, that often just gets lost in the shuffle. So in order to like be at their best, right? They want to be able to be that like helpful, kind, generous, loving person, but also bring that inward towards himself and be self-respecting.
Right. The core strategy is they need to be needed to feel valued. That's
Yeah.
the two, right?
Yes.
So in relationships, these people typically give a lot. They anticipate other people's needs. They struggle to ask for help. They can feel unappreciated constantly because, it's a very one-sided dynamic
Right.
because they set it up that way, right? It's not, this is what an unhealthy two looks like.
Right. But
Um,
I mean,
hmm.
from a certain vantage point, I feel like by the time we're parents, like we're just called to be in type two energy a lot, right? Like because we got to help our
Well, good
kids.
parents
And
are.
well, good parents answer the call for sure. But
Yeah. There's a
uh,
lot of parents, trust me, that don't have that feeling.
um, that's all right. I'll trust you. I've never seen that myself. No,
Oh, it's like, come on, Dan.
now I'm just like
We work
saying
with each.
nonsense just to be disagreeable. Is
Now
that the
he's just making
personality
sure nobody gets anything out of this one.
type? All right,
He's just
let's
destroying the podcast. I have to
wait.
leave
Can I lead
it.
off on the achiever number three?
Can I finish with the two?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then we could do the achiever. I'm here for you.
Okay.
Um, okay.
Thanks.
So their worldview is love is earned through giving. The twos. Love is earned through giving. That's their mentality. That's how they live their lives. That's what they truly believe will give them happiness, is if they give, they will also be loved.
Okay.
Um, Healthy growth, they ask directly for their needs. They receive without guilt. They set boundaries. And at their best, they're generous and self-respecting. So that's the two.
Okay.
And
So,
clearly, I don't have that with you. I just don't.
all right. I think we should do the third one, and then we'll pause and do the remaining ones in part two. And
Okay.
I I think if the listeners can like hang in there with us, where I think the rubber meets the road is going to be once we have a basic understanding of these styles, how they interact with each other and work in relationship and with attachment styles, and that those components which are coming in like down the road as we're looking at how to like make use of this information, that's going to be really vital to like understanding ourselves from a different lens as we're like working out our relationships and our intimate relationships and how we like manifest in the world. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. You had this super pissed off look as I was.
Did I look pissed? Oh no, I'm just reading and then I don't have the video up. I just have because I'm reading everything.
Okay.
I
You
am
need to
not pissed.
constantly have an image of yourself so that you can make sure you
So
have
I
the
don't have my
right.
resting bitch face.
All
I'm
right.
just
I'm gonna
tired.
do the achiever.
Okay. All
um,
right.
of course, if you're oriented towards achieving, right, the fear is failure, right? Like not achieving, not having any value. And
Yeah.
that you want to like gain worth and recognition through that success or, performance, and to be like seen that way in the eyes of others is a big thing, right? You want that admiration in relationship. You don't want to be vulnerable, right? Because that's not seen as like something that's sort of like prized or successful. And that your value is just coming from what you accomplish, right? Like that's your worldview, is that like, my legacy is what I've accomplished.
Right.
And to be able to like stay healthy within that mindset, right? The like healthy growth work is about like really connecting to emotions and to people and not prioritizing achievement over those other like emotional experiences with people, and to be willing to be vulnerable and let them see you authentically. So
Yeah.
at their best, you're trying to have like the best of the positive stuff. So like to be driven, right? That's fine, right? To try to achieve is fine, but also trying to actually be deeply like present, connected, authentic in relationships. So to be able to like let that other side shine that often will get like hidden or masked. Did I do it? Did I do it?
You did it. That was a really good explanation of the achiever and what they go through and what they need to focus on. Being present and also like just expanding like that their worth is they are worthy outside of achievement, right? And
Right.
being present with oftentimes achievers, they don't the achiever, people who are type 3, they don't see when people are accepting them for who they are.
Right. And I see this too in a lot of people I work with, and one of my kids, that like when this gets too out of hand, it becomes very perfectionistic, and then little tiny things that don't matter, that nobody would be judging them on, are things that like we judge ourselves on. And I feel like that is also just part of the way our brain is wired, is to imagine how other people are seeing us, and whatever we're self-conscious about tends to be things that we sort of like look for confirmation that somebody is like seeing us in a way that makes us feel self-conscious or bad, right? With ambiguous cues, we do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. That was well said.
I know we gotta wrap this one up and jump to part two here, where we're gonna go over the remaining ones. But
Okay.
I will try to do better to not run interference for the remaining portions of this.
You got it. We'll see.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to randomly play one of our songs to
Oh.
go on the outs here. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell Andre how great you think the Enneagrams are in the comment section. Oh my God, I got to fast forward this. It's so slow.
Well, you made it.
This is
I like
big news. We go deep, we don't flinch. Hang the weight on your chest. Let it go, inch by inch. This is big news. Hard truths in the room. If you're carrying shame, we're making space, making room. We're not here for cheap laughs or pretending it's fine.
It's like all these songs are like
I like them.
from. You like them? Okay.
Yeah, you sound really good in
I
these
feel like we
songs.
pulled them directly from like the Manosphere podcasts.